President Obama here?
Okay, thanks. Hello, President.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there.
My name is Benjamin. I'm representing Harvard University. Is it okay that I ask you a couple questions?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so first, can you tell me a little bit about your background, so childhood and your education?
Yeah, of course. I grew up on April 4th, 1961 in Honolulu, Hawaii. I'm half American and half Kenyan. As far as education goes, I obtained an early education in Indonesia and in Hawaii. For college, I went to Columbia University, where I obtained my BA, and Harvard University, where I studied law and met my wife, Michelle.
Oh, hi, Miss Obama.
There she is.
Well, at first, I didn't really want him, but eventually, he swept me off my feet.
Anyways, I was a senator in Illinois up until 2004 and a Democratic senator for the U.S. up until 2008.
Wow, how interesting. You were one of the reasons I applied to Harvard University. You really inspired me. Anyways, another topic I wanted to bring up on the interview is about your political ideology. So where did you get your genius political values from?
I feel like my political values came from the temperament of the people living in Hawaii. Like, Hawaii has a lot of different cultures mixed in, so I feel like growing up in Hawaii, I was exposed to different cultures, and it basically helped me define my political values.
Very interesting to know that Hawaii was such a big part of your life. In the election in 2008, obviously, turned out pretty well for you. Could you explain your campaigning strategies, like experiences with the media, press, and the group of Americans you tried to target the most?
My campaign slogan was "Yes, we can," because I realized that at the time there was a big need for change. During my campaign, I wasn't really close with the media or press because they decided I declared a war on journalism. I built a coalition of independent voters, moderate voters, Hispanic, and African Americans.
Interesting, yeah. The media can get a little bit annoying, I know by personal experiences. What international and U.S. problems were going on when you were assuming presidency, and what did you expect to have under your first annual agenda set?
Yeah, so I entered the White House in a casual manner. At the time, there was a terrible economic recession, the worst recorded since the Great Depression. So basically, I wanted to implement a regulatory reform system, which basically cut deficit spending, relieve strain of the military, and got more students.
Yeah, I remembered you planned on appointing Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State, correct?
Yeah, I did, after brutally beating her. In the election, of course.
Oh, okay. So what was your relationship with Congress like, Mr. President?
I've actually signed less bills in my 8 years of the presidency than President Carter and President Bush have signed in one term. During my administration, the government was divided, with Congress being controlled mostly by the Republican Party and the White House being controlled by the Democratic Party. One of the bills that I've probably been able to pass into a law was the Affordable Care Act, which basically allowed for affordable health care and a reform to health insurance. One of the bills that wasn't so successful was the DREAM Act, which basically was a bill that tried to give aliens permanent residency.
Great, thank you. That's all I needed. It's been a pleasure.
No problem. See you later, son.
Do you know the way to Mr. Obama?
Oh, hello.
Hello, Mr. Obama. How are you doing?
Good. Please, call me Barry.
All right.
The other ambassadors are already here. Take a seat.
Thank you.
So, I brought you guys here today to talk about foreign policy, economic policy, and domestic policy. Let's start off with foreign policy. Ambassadors, what do you guys think are proposed that we should do about the Ebola outbreak? Great, I think so too. I recently proposed $6 billion to help end it. What do you think?
As head of Council of Economic Advisors, the poverty rate under your administration had to get worse before it got better. In 2008, it was 13.2% and peaked at 15.1% in 2010. After that, it did eventually fall off.
Okay, that's a good conversation about economic policy. I strive to pass legislation to protect our nation from the economic and strategic risks associated with reliance on foreign oil and de-establishing effects on climate.
Thank you for having us. I'm looking forward to our next discussion.
All right.
Mr. President, over here. I have a question. Down here.
Yeah, you in the black suit.
Mr. President, a lot of people are upset about how you handled the Benghazi attacks. Can you extend upon your actions in the Benghazi attacks?
Yeah, sure. The attacks grew out of a nearby mob that was protesting an anti-Islam film, The Innocence of Muslims. The CIA later decided that this was wrong. The people initially believed to be protesters were actually a loose group of Islamic militants who had shown up at the mission with the intent to attack it. Next question?
Mr. President, right here. Mr. President, I have a question.
Yes, you. In the glasses?
Mr. President, your approval rating reached its highest of 69% on January 24th, 2009. On that day, you gave your weekly address saying that we should upgrade our electric grid. How will this be done?
Well, by laying more than 3,000 miles of transmission lines, weatherizing 2.5 million homes, protecting the health insurance of more than 8 million Americans in danger of losing their coverage, securing 90 major parks, renovating around 10,000 schools, and tripling the amount of science fellowships. Anyone else?
Mr. President, right here. I have a question.
Yes, you over there with the afro.
You have high expectations awaiting you throughout presidency. What are your main goals heading into your first 100 days?
Let me make this quick. I want to pass something called Obamacare. Pass gun control, strive for equality for homosexuals, heterosexuals, blacks, whites, everyone, and capture the most wanted man, Osama bin Laden. Now I just have 2 more words to say. Obama out.